is going to be a tutorial for Boss 2 of Belathis hard mode. Let's just get started. So when you see you talk to the NPC, your allied boss spawns and the enemy boss spawns and the whole fight starts. First thing you want to do is, usually after kiss, actually always after kiss, one person gets pulled to the boss and they get this debuff called worship. It's a little cross, just a little thing. This is the only time this applies. If you're pulled in without initiating the boss, because you wanna, before initiating the boss, you want to do cooldowns and instruments and all that stuff. You want to run this way. You want to run away from the boss and towards the door, which is over here on the minimap. This is where you would run in from. You want to run over here. It's safe over here. And you want to stay away from the group. So that's what I do. You can see that I notice the debuff and I run away. And you stay away until the worship is gone. And then from here, you can hear the music starting, and this is when the cooldown phase starts, because the bubble's up and that keeps you safe. Remember this yellow bubble. Anyway, the next thing you'll notice is another debuff called doubling. This makes all your attacks you do, everything that uses some kind of energy or rage or focus or mana, everything's doubled. So wound attacks 35, it now costs 70 to cast. So use Shadow Stab instead of Blind Spot, so you have mana for... So you always have energy for wound attack. It's much more efficient. Okay, so here's the thing. If you have the worship debuff on you, like Rustum does right here, if you don't move away while you're initiating, while the boss is being fought, then you die, the boss gets buffed, and he starts regenerating HP, like I will show you right here. So you see Rustum has a debuff, doesn't move away, dies, and then the boss gets this debuff, actually a buff. It makes him regen HP during the fight, so it makes the fight last longer. It's a lot harder to kill him. So, if Rustum would have used his brain, or he was probably lagging, you notice your debuff. Okay, so we got the debuff. What you want to do is, since we're already fighting the boss, you run this way. You run to the back of the boss, of our allied boss. You run to the back, and then you stay there until your debuff is gone, and you come back up. And I can't say this enough, you need to always stand. You always need a DPS behind the boss. Stand back here. Don't attack the ads, just stand back here and DPS. So cool. But Rustum died. Buffs the boss. Boss is harder to kill. The boss also does a cast called Jolytta's Kiss. I think that's how you would say this boss's name. And that heals the boss for 20% or so. Or is it 7%? Something like that. Let's see if we can find the cast. It's pretty quick. I think it's a second long. You need to interrupt it or silence it or whatever. So right here. If you don't silence this during your burn, then he heals, or she or whatever heals a bit of her HP, and it's just really annoying to deal with. So always try and silence it or do something about it. Just get it gone. Anyway, there's one more thing about this boss that we didn't get to because we burned it really fast. Is that while fighting the boss, you'll see the shield come up around our allied boss, which you can see in the beginning here. See this yellow shield? Whenever this comes up during the boss fight, you have to stop DPSing the boss, stop healing or whatever. If you're outside of this yellow bubble, I don't know what it's about. Where's our allied boss? It's probably... oh, it's back there, okay. So, our boss is back here. You need to get into the bubble. You need to stand in the bubble until the bubble's gone, and then you can go back to your duties. So if you're DPS, you come back, go behind the boss, and you DPS back here. Don't DPS the ads, DPS the boss from the back like that all the time. And that's pretty much it for this boss, so